today we're going to basically put the hull together. So this is a Bevin Skiff, but it's a 3.5 meter little flat-bottomed rowboat. So it's not a sailboat, it's a rowboat. So today we are starting the Build a Boat weekend, and it's a boat building program that takes place in Halifax, Shelburne and Lunenburg over the course of 3 days. And it's all about community engagement and inclusivity. We're working with 3 groups here in Halifax, a group from the North End, a group from the Mi'kmaq Friendship Centre, and a group from the YMCA, Young Immigrant Women to Nova Scotia. It's all about the creative process. So we're inviting kids to not necessarily learn how to be a boat builder, but using the medium of boat building to kind of further the creative process.
So for our youth outreach program, we take youth age 13 to 25 and give them opportunities to connect with the community. This group is mostly age junior high to high school. A lot of them come from Syrian backgrounds, so they've come within the past few years, and some are still uncomfortable with English. So I think some of this helps people a lot because it's just a physical skill. You don't need any English to build a boat. You just need to understand what to do with your hands. The purpose for all of these young women is just connecting with the people in their community, because a lot of the time they live in the community but they don't get to know it, or the community doesn't get to know them, and then the community can see what they can bring and show their skills, like, oh, they have the ability to participate and not just stand aside. Like, a lot of spaces won't make opportunities for immigrant women, so when you show that they can be involved, then they'll get more opportunities coming our way. We just had today somebody offer us an opportunity to do another volunteering thing.
Yeah, I brought 2 young women from, they are participants at the organization that I run called In My Own Voice, and they have been part of a group called the Youth Action Team. So they are a group of our young people in the community around Uniacke Square. It's engaging, the boat building. Young people are using their intellect as well as their hands in order to build something material. So there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, you know, and there's something that's at stake. We don't want our boat to sink, you know, we want to build it in a way that is successful.
And we're going to attach these 2 pieces, which are the chines, and then we're going to take and we're going to nail it, okay? But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to use a drill, and we're going to teach you how to use a hammer and a nail, okay? Day 1 is pretty intense because you have to impart a lot of skills development over a very, very short period of time, and at the same time, you have to physically build the hull. In order for this program to actually come together successfully, we have to make sure that kids meet those daily milestones. And for today, the daily milestone is to have a fully formed hull.
I like the idea of community supporting individuals, and oftentimes I find in our society that we have a lot of focus on the individual and not necessarily so much on the community. And I think by focusing on community, we strengthen the individuals within that community as well. So I think there's a real sort of give and take between individual and community that is highlighted in boat building. And one of the things that I find particularly interesting in boat building, and you see it emerge quite early on in the process of the boat building, is that the panels that we use when we're building the boat are too big for an individual to actually use themselves and put into place accurately themselves. So you have to rely on reaching out for support from other people in the group.
Well, when you think of what should youth be doing at the height of summer? You live in the Maritimes, what should they be doing? And you say to yourself, well, it's like every young person's, I don't know if it's desire, but I think that young people naturally want to do something which is great in scope. That's why we're working with young people, is that we want to transfer some of those skills that maybe aren't as accessible now to young people, and just make sure that we're giving them just kind of those core skills of woodworking and creativity, and hopefully they can use those and carry that approach through life.
You know, when we look at working with youth specifically, many times, especially marginalized youth, we want to be looking at highlighting the strengths that they bring to society and not necessarily looking at the deficits. So for youth, they oftentimes they may not have had the experience to demonstrate the assets that they can bring to various ventures such as boat building. And I think boat building highlights or incorporates diverse skill levels. So no matter what the experience that somebody has coming to the process, they're able to contribute in some way. And that contribution, in whatever way that it is, represents the assets that that individual brings to that space. If we can plant that seed, then all of a sudden, you know, we have this potential, this yearning to return to that space.
We're gonna aim. Get ready. Go!
What does it feel like to be in a boat that you built?
Kind of scary.
Kind of scary?
Yes.
Scared, but it's fun. I'm proud of myself.
Feel accomplished.
Awesome. I'm really happy that this boat didn't sink.
I'm just proud of myself because like I did such a good thing. I never thought I'm gonna do it.
For youth, oftentimes they may not have had the experience to demonstrate the assets that they can bring to various ventures such as boat building. In the past, you know, they may have been mislabeled as at risk, or people may perceive them as being a certain way, and maybe they've internalized that, but this gives them a new story to tell about themselves, and it's a story about construction and the assets that they bring to particular spaces.